Well, hello and welcome to the Shifts and Pucks News Pack for Friday, October the 28th. You can follow us on Twitter at Shifts and Pucks, Facebook.com Shifts and Pucks, YouTube.com Shifts and Pucks, Twitch.com Shifts and Pucks. Subscribe wherever you get your audio, as well as join us on the Area 51 Sports Network. Matt DeBorg from Fireside Chat and I talked a lot of Calgary Flames last night and what is going on there, including the play of the forward lines, the idea of acquiring a Patrick Kane or another forward, defense, who we're starting, and just to kind of the overall look at the Calgary Flames right now as they've started 5-1 and what's working, what's not for the Flames. We also, it broke during our podcast last night. Jack Studnicka was acquired by the Vancouver Canucks. So that's where we're going to spend a good chunk of our time today, focusing on the Vancouver Canucks on this one. As we'll get as they made a couple of trades, played last night, play tonight against the Pittsburgh Penguins. So we'll start with that. Of course, they acquired Jack Studnicka from Michael DiPietro and uh, from the Boston Bruins. Michael DiPietro went the other way, as well as a prospective defenseman, another defenseman by the name of Jonathan Myrenberg. So before we get into Studnicka, I think with DiPietro, couple of things here. I think DiPietro wanted an opportunity to play. And during the pandemic, during the COVID shortened season, when it was all division play and we had the Canadian division, DiPietro didn't get an opportunity to play. And I think that stunted his development. I remember Sean being very passionate about trying to find a place for DiPietro to play. And I think that set a lot of things back. So this is a guy in terms of DiPietro that hope I personally will be cheering for to get an opportunity. Um, so yeah, he was in the same draft as Studnicka. He was a third round pick. He played 3 games in the NHL. One of his games was a shortened lineup against the San Jose Sharks here, where the Canucks could barely master a lineup because of injury/salary cap goaltending situation. Um, he has struggled, but he is also a year behind in development. So um, I'm going to be cheering for hope that Mikey DiPietro gets an opportunity. Michael DiPietro comes out here. Merenberg was a 19-year-old fifth round pick in the 2021 draft. 9 games and more, a goal and 2 assists. Not sure if he was high on the list in terms of Canucks prospects, but a Canuck prospect nonetheless. For Studnicka, he played 1 game this year. Uh, Second round pick in 2017, 38 games in his career, a goal and 6 assists. Likely will play tonight. Any AHL product, 30 goals, 62 assists, 96 points. Right shot center. We'll get into that. A lot of people are wondering what the need for that is when you have a Linus Karlsson. And I thought Straw made a really good point. Linus Karlsson does not have the speed to play center at a professional level. I know that he's played center a lot, but he's a winger. I think going forward, that's the plan with the Canucks. So, and you'll see that today with the acquisition of Lane Pedersen as well. That was part of the reason there for there. So that's ultimately it. I think the plan is to possibly see Studnicka tonight for the Canucks. We'll see about the lineups a little bit later. And then, of course, we'll stay in the trade mode today. Of course, there was a lot of speculation about the, the future of Ethan Bear, and with the Carolina Hurricanes, he signed a less than his qualifying offer with the idea that Bear would find another place to play, or there would be some movement with him. He hasn't played a game yet this year. Jalen Chatfield, former Canuck, funny enough, has taken a spot, and he looks more comfortable. At least he looks more comfortable to what Carolina wants. And so Bear was expendable. And this was a guy we talked about actually in the offseason that the Canucks should be targeting as a trade target, Ethan Bear. And so that finally happened. So obviously, by that, we can know that Patrick Elvey and Jim Rutherford listens to the Shifts and Pucks podcast. So Patrick, Jim, we thank you for listening. I'm just kidding, of course. But fifth round pick, played with the Oilers, played in the playoff series against Winnipeg. He struggled, was moved to Carolina for Warren Fogle, will play with the Canucks, and I think he'll get a good opportunity. The Hurricanes are retaining 400,000, I believe, of that salary. So the 2.2 now turns into a 1.8, which helps the helps the salary a little bit. Good puck moving defenseman, and they just need depth. Travis Dermott out for a while. Tucker Pullman out for a while. So that right side is struggling. Kyle Burrows, Luke Shen, right, and Tyler Myers is not ideal. So you improve. These are not deals that are going to move the needle in terms of getting the Canucks moving forward or back, but these are the type of deals that improve your depth within your organization. And it's tough. Of course, there's been 3 trades this month. The Riley Stillman for Jason Dickinson and a second round pick, and you loathe to give up a second round pick when you need draft picks, and you gave up a 5th for Ethan Bear. We'll touch on Lane Pedersen here as well, by the way. You don't want to give up picks necessarily, and this doesn't move the needle. This won't get the Canucks in the playoffs. This won't put the Canucks into a tank mode if you're in that. But it gives you depth within the organization, and that is one of the things amongst everything that is sorely lacking. It's tough with injuries, but you got to improve the depth in this organization. There's a lot. Really, let's just be frank. There's a lot of work to do with the Canucks. Do they need draft picks? Yes. Do they need prospects? Yes. They need depth all over the place, and they did that. That's the work that they did. So as they say in this business, a tidy piece of business. Now, Bear and Pedersen were teammates in the WHL because Pedersen played with the Seattle Thunderbirds, also with the Red Deer Rebels and the Swift Current Broncos. Former Arizona Coyote as well. 4 games with the Wolves this year, no points. 18 points in 22 games last year with the San Jose Barracuda. He was part of the Brent Burns trade that ended up in Carolina, so he comes over as well. So more AHL depth. So it's improving the Abbotsford Canucks, some of the depth in the Vancouver Canucks organization. Again, these are not needle movers. The Riley Stillmans of the world, the Ethan Bears of the world, Jack Studnicka, Lane Pedersen. This is not earth-shattering types of trades, but it's tidy-ish piece of business that the Canucks need to get done to start building a foundation. And so that's where the Canucks are at. So I generally like these deals. It's, I'm not in love with these deals. I think Ethan Bear is going to really help the defense. I think he's going to move the puck. I think he can be a good defenseman for Quinn Hughes going forward. And then you can move Luke Shen down the lineup a little bit. And then you can do a Luke Shen, Jack Rathbone potential combination there. So it does kind of solidify the defense there for the Canucks. That's the good thing. You also had Curtis Lazar go down as well. And then we'll get to last night. The Canucks, Ilya Mikheyev gets his first 2 goals with the Canucks. I thought by far his most noticeable. To be fair, he was injured for most of camp, so he's just getting his legs there. But he looked good. He got a couple goals, and the Kraken were able to fight back with 2 late goals in the first. I think both of them, Demko would like back. They squeezed just under his pad a little bit there. And but the Canucks were undaunted, coming down 2-1. So there was some perseverance come through, which was lacking in a lot of ways. So with this team, but that's what happened. Yeah. So and Mikheyev gets 2. Kuzmenko had a pretty strong game, a goal and an assist. He scored as well. And then Jaden Schwartz. So Alexiak squeezes one in at 1839, McCann at 1944 to make it 2-1 for the Kraken. 2 late goals, but perseverance. Mikheyev on the power play, Kuzmenko on the power play, and then 15 seconds later, this is where the Canucks are at. Matty Beniers from a really nice pass from Jaden Schwartz, who I thought was one of the better Kraken last night. Beniers gets his 4th. Pedersen scores early in the 3rd, gives the Canucks the 4-3 lead. Connor Garland shoots 180 into the empty net, and it looks good. But then, lo and behold, the Canucks kind of almost unravel. With 30 seconds left, Jaden Schwartz scores from Jordan Eberle and Burakovsky, and it's 5-4. And then JT Miller blocks a shot late. He has trouble getting off the ice. He gets off the ice, and it looks like he looks okay. He should be good to go tonight, and the Canucks get their first win. Can they make it back to back tonight? This is the first time we see the Pittsburgh Penguins since, well, back in December. This was the team that sent the Travis Green, Jim Benning era away. That was that night that the jersey was thrown on the ice. It was that night that Stan Smeel spoke up to Francisco Aquilini. It was the next day that Bruce Boudreau was hired as the head coach, and then Jim Rutherford came in to take over. This is what started that was that team on that hockey night. To focus on the Penguins here, they're coming in on a 2-game losing streak. So they come into this game a little owly. They did not play well at Edmonton. They did not play well great in Calgary either. So, they're not going to be happy. 4-2-1, 9 points, currently tied with Carolina for second in the Metropolitan. Lots of injuries here. Jake Gensel won't be in the lineup. Teddy Bluger won't be in the lineup as well. So Tristan Jarry getting a call in goal. And that is where the Penguins are at this particular point. And so see if we can get see if I can just, while I'm doing this, we'll get some lineup notes here from the Penguins here and see where they're at in terms of their lineup here. Just give me one moment. But should be going to be an interesting game in Vancouver tonight. At least the Canucks are not looking for their first win of the year. That is the big, I think, the best news that can come out of this. If you come away with a split tonight, if you lose to Pittsburgh, I think people are going to shrug their shoulders and say, well, it's a split. We're not in a better place. But overall, if you came away 0-2 and lose to the Kraken, the heat in this fan base would be harder. But here we are. The Penguins, by the way, are in a back-to-back situation. No Jason Zucker, no Teddy Bluger, no Jake Gensel. I think so. Just seeing here what is going on. I don't expect that Jason Zucker, no Jake Gensel, and probably no Jason Zucker as well. So let's look at the lineup here, and then we'll get to the other games as well. What's the lineup here? You've got Crosby, Raquel, Rust, Malkin, Heinen, Carter, Poulin, Sam Poulin, Brock McGinn, Kasperi, Kapanen, Ryan Palin, Drake Kujula, Josh Archibald, Julian Letang, Pedersen, Marcus Pedersen, Petrie, Pierre Oliver, Joseph, and Jan Ruda. Jari getting the goal. Zucker listed injured, Bluger upper body, Gensel upper body. So that is the lineup for the Penguins looking like tonight. Let's go through the other games in the National Hockey League tonight, as we have a few of them and a couple of interesting storylines along the way here, as we will start in Vegas. The Anaheim Ducks. We were not expecting Anaheim to be in the Connor Bedard sweepstakes, but they've lost 6 in a row. They're 1-5-1, and not in an easy situation here with the Golden Knights. So John Gibson getting the call and goal. And the Golden Knights are 6-2, doing very well. Thank you very much, Logan Thompson getting the call and goal. The Boston Bruins 7-1 to start the season against the Columbus Blue Jackets. No Brad Marchand tonight. He played last night. Jim Montgomery says he's not going to be playing back-to-backs. Linus Ullmark getting the start and goal for Boston. For Columbus, David Juracek will make his NHL debut. He was the 6th pick in the draft last year. Elvis Merzlikins will get this call and goal, and Jake Bean down, as Gavin Bayreuther will play as well. Colorado Avalanche trying to get recubulated here a little bit. They're going 11-7 with tonight, and Pavel Francouz is getting a start as they play the New Jersey Devils. Vitek Vanacek expected to get the call and goal. New York Islanders playing the Carolina Hurricanes. Ilya Sorokin, who came in off a 42-save performance against the New York Rangers on Wednesday, gets the call, and it looks like Freddie Anderson in for Carolina as well. And tonight will be an interesting night in Arizona. It is the opening of Mullet Arena. It is, and you probably have seen all the pictures. You've seen what's going on. Really interesting atmosphere as the Winnipeg Jets will take on the Arizona Coyotes. Jets coming off that win last night against the Los Angeles Kings, coming away 4-3. Didn't get off to a good start, but worked their way through that game and found a way to win. The Jets are still an interesting situation. They still don't have Rick Bowness behind the bench. It's Scott Arniel. Looks like Connor Hellebuyck's going to play back-to-back. And so will be interesting. But I think the game is going to be the side effect of tonight. This is what we're going to be watching, the arena. We're going to be watching the atmosphere. We're going to watch what Arizona is bringing out. And I think there's going to be some people that think that this is a joke. And if that is where you're at, that is where you're at. I still want to see what comes out of this. I know it's nobody. I'm not going to call this ideal. Nobody's going to call this ideal. But let's see what comes out of this. Let's see what we can glean from this. There could be a pro and there could be a con from this as well. So I'm going to give it a look, not and see. Carl Vejmelka gets the start and goal for the Arizona Coyotes. And so that is what's going on there. And for the games tonight. As far as any other news going on, it's been that the news of the day was the Vancouver Canucks news. Just some other news though. Congratulations to Josh Bailey. He will play his 1,000th game for the Islanders tonight. That's a significant mark against the Carolina Hurricanes. That will be neat. Michael Rasmussen will be meeting for the Department of Players, have a meeting with the Department of Player Safety today as well. So there could be a fine. He's going to face discipline. He high-sticked Bruin center David Krejci in the second period. Halfway through, he received a minor penalty. Krejci left the game with an upper body injury and did not return. So we'll see what supplemental discipline Michael Rasmussen is out. Some other injuries. Valerie Nikushin actually will be out against the Devils tonight. He's injured here. Of course, he's been an analytics darling, and I'm not saying that as an insulting, but I think a lot of people have really been high. And he's now fourth in scoring right now, 7 goals, 5 assists for the Avalanche. So not only that, he's becoming a star. Lower body day to day, according to Jared Bednar. Martin Coote will be on that line with Alex Newhook and Evan Rodriguez. Jacob Chychrun, wrist surgery, still considered week to week. General Manager Bill Armstrong says we're going to treat him week to week, and we'll just deal with it. He'll rejoin the team as soon as he gets cleared, and they want him back in the lineup. But that's where we're at with Jacob Chychrun. Philip Cheeto was injured. He will not travel with the Rangers on as they head to Dallas and Arizona this weekend. He has an upper body injury. And that is some of the news for today. Let's look at the AHL here as we just have a look at some of the other stuff going on here. Just look at tonight's games, and then we'll look at the WHL, and that will be that. That will hopefully cover everything here. As games tonight, we got a couple of games already. By the way, Colorado taking on the Henderson Silver Knights here. That's wrapping up. We've also got Hershey and Hartford, Rochester, Laval, Toronto and Syracuse, Cleveland and Utica, Wilkes-Barre and Las Vegas. We've also got some other games going on here, include Charlotte and Providence. We've got Wilkes-Barre taking on Lehigh Valley, and we've got Bridgeport taking on Springfield tonight in there, and then you got Belleville, Milwaukee, Chicago, Rockford, and the Abbotsford Canucks are in action against San Diego. Calgary Wranglers are in against the Coachella Valley tonight, so some AHL action. Tucson and San Jose Barracuda also in action tonight. As for the WHL, and then we'll have one more announcement going for here, as it's a busy night in the WHL. You've got the Winnipeg Ice taking on the Edmonton Oil Kings, or the Brandon Wheat Kings. Calgary Hitmen taking on the Edmonton Oil Kings. You got the Saskatoon Blades taking on the Medicine Hat Tigers. You've got the Everett Silvertips starting a road trip. They are off to Moose Jaw. You've got Vancouver taking on Red Deer. The Victoria Royals are on the road. They're taking on the Swift Current Broncos. Spokane's taking on Kamloops. Kelowna is in Portland. Seattle is in Prince George. That is the WHL record for today. So that's the news of the day. So starting next week, I'm going to just put this announcement out there. I'm looking to start doing these a little bit live, and here start around 1 Pacific, and it's just about 1:10 Pacific. Start doing these a little bit more live as opposed to the recording. Want to see how this looks. I just want to see where we take this news pack a little bit in terms of live reaction. I want to start diving in a little bit more to some of the other issues. I give into the news, but there's some other things that I don't dive into as much that I want to start digging into a little bit more. Want to spend some time focuses on teams and developing that. So there's going to be it'll be audio, be video, and so I'm going to be going live around 1 Pacific. We're going to try and see how that looks. That's starting next week. We will there, and we'll see how that goes. But in terms of the Canucks Flames focus will be Thursday, and then Canucks Monday, Tuesday, depending on what that schedule is for everybody there. But you can follow us all individually on Twitter. Sean Beardy Canucks 03, Tyler TNOBLE, Devin Gordhouse 09, Christian Schneidz SCHNAIDZ. I am KEVOLE. Also follow Fireside Chat, as well as they record and post every Monday for your other Flames content. You also follow WHL on Area 51 for WHL content. Gabe Newman does a weekly WHL show. It comes out every Monday. Check that out. And you can follow us all, as I said, and then, of course, Shifts and Pucks, Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, Twitch, subscribe wherever you get your audio, as well as on the Area 51 Sports Network. We thank you for watching/listening. We will talk to you all very soon. Bye for now.